Everyone, Shabba Gamer here, and welcome back to another episode of our WWE 2K16 universe. This is our next episode of Raw, and it is building up towards our finale of this universe mode now. Of course, we have 3 weeks worth of Raw, including this one, until we hit our last pay-per-view for Raw and SmackDown, which will be Battleground. Right. I do apologise for this being a little bit late. I'm really struggling with this game recorder the last few days. It just doesn't seem to want to record at all. But I've got it working now, and I'm just going to try and record as much as I don't even know if this is working, to tell the truth. I might have to test it. I think it is working. Let's have a... Well, let's continue on. I'm sure it's working. If it's not working, then you're not going to see this anyway. Let's just ignore that conversation. Right. So let's have a look at tonight's card I've got set for you. So we are going to start things off with the Empire, Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa, the #1 contenders for the Raw Tag Team Championships. They're going to be taking on the Hardy Boys. Not seen much of the Hardy Boys so far in this universe mode, so it'll be nice to see them for a change. Next, we've got the Raw Women's Champion, Nikki Storm, taking on Becky Lynch. Then we've got Tommy End, the #1 contender for the European Championship from Cesaro. He's going to be taking on R-Truth. Next, we do have Cesaro himself taking on the Scotsman Noam Dar, somebody who is involved in the Cruiserweight Classic at the moment, and somebody who's rumoured to have signed with WWE as well. Next, we've got a match that a lot of people want to see, I suppose. Goldberg versus Ryback. Yeah, interesting, yeah. Next, we've got Sami Zayn taking on Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And then our main event is going to be The Rock, the current Raw champion, The Rock, taking on Owen Hart. Of course, the #1 contender for The Rock's championship currently is Goldberg. So it'll be interesting to see just how this one pans out. Should Owen Hart pick up a victory here, then you never know what might happen. Owen Hart could force his way into that main event at Battleground. But we are going to watch the 3 matches here this evening. Of course, we'll watch the 2 rivalry matches. We'll skip this one. A win for Becky Lynch over Nikki Storm. Well, I think that makes Becky Lynch the #1 contender in my book. Next, Cesaro versus Noam Dar. A good win for the European champion Cesaro, who is dominant at the moment. Goldberg versus Ryback. A good win there for Goldberg. He needed that going forward into that championship match at Battleground. And then Sami Zayn loses to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That leaves us with 3 matches then. So we've got the tag team match, the Empire versus the Hardys. We're going to see Tommy End versus R-Truth. And then we will see The Rock taking on Owen Hart. So without further ado, let's get straight into our opening match of the evening. And here is that first match. As promised, it is going to be the Empire, Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa, taking on the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff Hardy. And here we go. Wow, it was like a 5-6 minute loading screen that was. That's pretty impressive. That's the way it is, as I've mentioned before, especially in matches like this when you've got 2 custom tag teams in a... This is not even a custom arena. This is just 2 custom tag teams. It's a bit strange. It's taken so long. I have, like I've mentioned in the past, tried to get a Bullet Club logo off of Tama Tonga, but every time I try, the game crashes. So I'm looking forward now to getting 2K17. I have deleted my pre-order of Amazon today, and I've re-pre-ordered it on game, and I've got the special NXT version. An extra 30 quid, but you are guaranteed to get Apollo Crews, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Nia Jax on day 1. I'm gonna assume that also includes an AJ Styles. I'm gonna assume. Well, for me, you can't have Nakamura and not have Austin Aries, because they both made their debut on the same night. So it's a little bit harsh if they did do one and not the other. Bayley's got to be on the game this year. I'd imagine that Carmella is going to be on there, as well as Alexa Bliss on there as well. Looking at the case of the NXT version of the game, it does have, I'm sure Bayley's on the front cover, as is both members of the Revival as well. So it sort of gives you an indication of roughly who's going to be on there. I'm really hoping that American Alpha are on there. I'm sure they must be on there, surely. I'm just hoping for a much bigger NXT roster this year, because they might as well, because NXT is such a massive brand now for WWE. There's no reason why they can't. I know it changes, the roster changes quite a lot, but still, if they are wise 2K, they'd put enough of the NXT talent on the game so that all of the potential call-ups over the next 12 months will be on the game. That just makes sense to me, but there you go. Who knows what's in 2K's mind? Nobody really knows, do they? So we're going to start things off with Jeff Hardy and Tama Tonga in the ring. We've not seen much of the Hardy Boys so far in this universe mode. They've had a couple of opportunities, but they've never really done well. They've never really sort of come out of the box and really shown what they can do. So it'd be interesting to see what they can do here this evening. Of course, at the moment, Tama Tonga and Tangaroa are the #1 contenders for the Tag Team Championships after defeating Nation of Domination in that Tag Team feud last month. And of course, that will be happening at Battleground in 3 weeks' time. Now, if you've not watched that episode of Nitro, we did announce that this Universe mode is going to be coming to a close after Battleground. This is basically, I gave you guys a choice. I put the poll out on Twitter, and I got quite a few comments on the videos as well. And every single person seemed to agree that stopping this Universe mode and restarting a new one based on what's going on in real life at the moment with the new rosters and obviously a few new guys looking to debut as well soon. We've got Shelton Benjamin, of course, announced for SmackDown. Rhino made his debut. I say debut in him. You can't see my inverted commas, but Rhino made his debut for the roster a couple of days back as well at the last episode of SmackDown. Talk of Kurt Hawkins coming back to SmackDown pretty soon. Jinder Mahal has re-signed with WWE. He's going to be going to Raw. Then you've got all the NXT guys. You've got MVP, who apparently is having a medical. And there's going to be quite a lot of people coming back over the next few months, I think, just to try and help bolster the rosters out a little bit. And I think that's a good thing, especially with touring and things like that as well. And considering these two rosters are going to have to put on a full 3-hour pay-per-view as well, because SmackDown have already announced that they're going to have Backlash in September, so they're going to have a whole pay-per-view to themselves. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can build a roster and build a show which has got enough quality with the size of roster they have, because they haven't got a very big roster, SmackDown. There's not a lot of people on there, so it's all down to using them in the correct way. At the moment, pretty good main event for SummerSlam. I'm looking forward to Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler. A lot of people have been moaning about the fact that Dolph Ziggler got in the main event. They think that there was people in that match that probably would have put on a better main event. And you know what? I probably would have liked to have seen Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt, but I would rather Bray Wyatt not get a #1 contendership based on a match like that. I'd rather Bray Wyatt getting ahead of somebody and work his way into the championship picture rather than winning a #1 contendership. I know it doesn't make much difference really, but I just think there's more of a story that could be involved with Bray. I think Dolph Ziggler winning that match is it's a pretty good one for him. I should imagine that he's going to end up losing the match to Dean Ambrose anyway. I can't imagine that Ziggler will walk out with a belt. But still, it's going to be a pretty good match. Maybe not quite on par with Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor, but there you go. Also, already know we're going to get Orton versus Brock Lesnar, which is going to be an inter-promotional match then, isn't it, really? Because Lesnar, of course, drafted to Raw, whereas Orton's been drafted to SmackDown, so that's going to be an interesting one as well. What we'll try and do is we'll try and start our Universe mode. We'll skip past month #1. We'll go straight to the SummerSlam month. We'll skip through it all, go straight to SummerSlam. Of course, we'll start the Universe mode with the same champions they have in real life, the ones that have already been crowned, of course. And we'll probably go up to SmackDown with the same feud. SmackDown. We'll probably go up to SummerSlam with the same feuds as what WWE have got as well. So that'll be obviously Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. We'll have, of course, Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose. So yeah, so basically this week is the last episode of Raw. It was uploaded yesterday. And then, of course, we do have the Elimination Chamber coming up on Sunday as well. Thunder, which will be uploaded very, very soon after this, hopefully, if I can get it recorded quickly. If I can keep this game recorder working. That will be the last episode of Thunder. And then, of course, we'll have the Elimination Chamber this Sunday as well. Raw and SmackDown will continue on for another couple of weeks. And then we'll have Battleground as well. I'm going to try and upload them a little bit quicker for you if I can, because it's only going to be it's going to be 5 episodes altogether over the next 2 weeks, which is less than what we normally do. But it does also give me enough time in the background to build the next Universe mode, get all the arenas, get the right rosters together, download the extra wrestlers. So it might take me 2 weeks or so to do that. It shouldn't take me 2 weeks to do that, but you never know. You never know. So enough of me talking about all that sort of stuff. Let's have a look at what is going on in the ring at the moment. Tama Tonga, big dropkick to the back of Jeff Hardy. The Hardy Boys, 2 guys that are also linked to coming back with WWE at some point. I'm not a fan of them anymore, to tell the truth. I think they're sort of holding on for dear life at the moment. Whereas I think over time the Dudley Boys have got better. They're better on the mic. They're better at storytelling in the ring. The Hardy Boys over time have just seemed to have just gone off the boil. I think it's probably all the drugs that are in their system, to tell the truth. For me, Matt Hardy essentially trying to... I thought that was quite comical, really. The fact that he's taken on a very Bray Wyatt-esque sort of gimmick and then he starts having a Twitter war against Bray Wyatt for copying stuff that he is doing, apparently. I'm like, Matt, your entire gimmick at the moment is based on Bray Wyatt. I don't know. He's a crazy one. He really is. And it's a 2 count there. Tangaroa kicking out. Tama Tonga, also somebody that was looked at earlier in the year by WWE. Didn't take up the opportunity. From what I heard, he signed a new contract with New Japan. He said he wanted to really reward, not necessarily reward, but stick with the company that finally gave him his big opportunity, which was, of course, New Japan. And then, of course, Tangaroa came along. Tangaroa, who was released from WWE as Camacho, then went to TNA for a short amount of time as Micah. Again, it didn't really go too well from as Micah. And then he eventually turned up at New Japan. And I tell you what, he's doing fantastically well as a tag team alongside his adopted brother in Tama Tonga. Of course, they're both the sons of the... Is he a Hall of Famer, Haku? I think he is. I'm sure he is. So it'd be a big, big match, this one, for the Empire to win. They need to win it, really, just to continue building momentum towards that Tag Team Championship match in a few weeks' time at Battleground. Edge and Christian, who I believe are still the Tag Team Champions, have been a very, very formidable tag team. This is one of the reasons why I want to change to the other universe mode now, because I'm really struggling to keep track at the moment of just who's the champions and this, that, and the other. It really is tricky for me. Good little snap underhook suplex there by Tama Tonga. Now bringing Matt Hardy back up to his feet. What's Tonga got planned? Sending Hardy into the corner. Spins him round. Takes him up. By the looks of it, no, he's going to go for a lawn dart into the middle rope. I thought he was going to put him up in the tree of woe, and then I thought he was going to drop him into a snake eyes. He ended up going for a lawn dart. Still, it's only enough for a 2 count. Big kick to the back there by Tama Tonga, now lining up Matt Hardy. Can Tama Tonga finish this match off? There's that big DDT. In for the pin he goes. And, see, I think that the tag team matches have really gone downhill in 2K16. 2K15, I think they had a good little thing going where somebody hit their finisher maneuver and their tag team partner instantly came flying across the ring to try and block off the opposing tag team partner from breaking up the pin. And that doesn't happen anymore. And it just seems... It seems like you win the match if you pin somebody close enough to your corner. It's all down to luck now rather than actual judgment in these sort of matches. And that frustrates me a little bit. I want to see it get a little bit better next year. And I'm hoping it will do, because 2K15 they had a very small amount of time with and it wasn't fantastic. 2K16 was their first real attempt, and again it was an upgrade on 2K15, but it still wasn't fantastic and they took away a lot of features. I'm hoping with 2K17 that they start to bring some of these features back and we start to get back to the much more balanced game that we used to enjoy, because I would struggle to tell you things they've brought in over the last few years, but I could write you a massive, massive list of things that have been taken out. Some things only very, very small. Some things that people used to love, like the storyline editor. That was such a simple thing that was just such a great idea that allowed people to create their own storylines and put them online for people to play through, and I thought that was a fantastic idea. There's the pin by Tama Tonga on Jeff Hardy, only enough for a 2 count. And as I've said before, I would love to see the storyline editor be added as part of the universe mode, because if I could say I want to feud this person with this person, I want this to happen on week 1, this to happen on week 2, this to happen on week 3, or at least if I can say it's a rivalry match. Because as soon as I try and change his matches, like I made The Rock versus Owen Hart for the main event this evening. Oh God. Just. You just look at it sometimes and think to yourself, what on earth? What on earth? Edge and Christian coming down now, just laughing at the Nation of Domination, laughing at the Empire. I just can't understand how Tama Tonga's being pinned like that, and Tangaroa comes in the ring and just stares at the pin. It just makes no sense. Please, 2K, fix this game. Well, you're not going to fix it now, are you? You're too busy on 2K17. Please make it better. I've just paid £80 out of my bank account to pre-order the new game. I want to make sure that what I'm going to get is going to be worth the £80. And here is the rivalry result. Champions Edge and Christian have accepted the challenge of Tama Tonga and Tangaroa, facing them next week in a non-championship match. Let's see if that happens or not. Tama Tonga and Tangaroa are now both on cold streaks, and Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy now both getting up the hot streaks. I think unless Tama Tonga and Tangaroa can really turn this rivalry around and knock this cold streak on the head, they could end up fighting a losing battle here. Maybe we might have to get Roman Reigns involved at some point. And here is match number 2 of the evening. It is going to be Tommy End, the number 1 contender for the European Championship, taking on R-Truth. And here we go. Tommy End, the man you will be seeing in WWE in not too long now, only a couple of months or so. I think the next set of signings generally is about August, September time. And I can't wait for this guy to join NXT. He's absolutely incredible. If you don't know of Tommy End, then you must have been living under well, I say you must be living underneath a rock. I suppose he's quite a... He's an indie wrestler, but he's worked some dates in America over the last couple of years or so now. He's a big name in Europe, works all across Europe, and he is absolutely incredible. If you've not seen him, then definitely stick his name in YouTube, and you'll find some incredible videos, I'm sure. And that's why I'm a massive fan of Tommy End. He's one of my favourite wrestlers, which is why we brought him into the Universe mode, and why he's got himself a shot at the Upper Mid-Card Championship for our final pay-per-view, of course, Battleground. And it's a shame that we are stopping this Universe mode, but well, I suppose if we keep going on and they make the signing, because of course the new 2K17 game doesn't come out till, was it middle of October, something like that? So it doesn't come out till middle of October, so it gives us an opportunity to potentially bring him into our NXT roster at some point. That's what I'm hoping for. See Tommy End now just attacking R-Truth right in front of the face of Cesaro, trying to send a message to the European champion, who has made his way down to ringside here, and a big kick to the chest there by Tommy End and R-Truth. R-Truth reversing that into a suplex of his own. And I'm not 100% sure what you want to really do is pissing off Tommy End. That seems a little bit of a dodgy thing to do. And Tommy End proves that there with that Russian leg sweep. And he's going to have some pretty nasty kicks. And I think he might end up really destroying R-Truth here in the long run. You see now Cesaro just getting the attention there of Tommy End, and that's not good for Tommy End as R-Truth takes his opportunity there, attacking Tommy End from behind. And what effect is that going to have on Tommy End? Looks like Cesaro is he still here? Is that Cesaro taking the top off the announce table? I think he just did. I think Cesaro just took the top off the announce table. Tommy End now with a brainbuster though, and I said to you earlier on, when Tommy End gets pissed off, you are in trouble. And that seems to be what has happened here. Tommy End now, big boot to the gut and the ribs of R-Truth. Not quite sure if Cesaro is still at ringside now, or if he has made his way to the back. I've not seen him come past the camera. He might still be down there by the announce table. I can see part of the announce table moving down there, so I'm assuming he is still down there. And what further effect can he have on this match? He's already distracted R-Truth to a point where... Sorry, he's already distracted Tommy End to a point where Tommy End was attacked by R-Truth from behind. Now it looks like Cesaro is leaving. I think the referee did have a word over the top rope, trying to get Cesaro to leave, and he has done so. And now Tommy End gets a chance here to finally make this match. Well, it's always been one-on-one, but still. Still, I think just the mental aspect of having Cesaro at ringside doesn't really help out Tommy End too much. Big leg drop there by R-Truth. Big running, twisting forearm, and don't tell me that's going to be enough. Oh, God, it nearly was, you know. It nearly was. There's the X Factor by R-Truth now lining up Tommy End. Could he pull off the victory here? Don't tell me he can pull off the victory here. There's the little Jimmy. 1, 2, and 3. Why does R-Truth always screw us up? He always seems to screw us up. He did it in 2K15, I don't know if you remember. But R-Truth won the King of the Ring. I know, he won the King of the Ring. He faced off against Edge. He faced off against Eddie Guerrero. And he faced off against Jeff Hardy, I think it was. And he beat all three and became the King of the Ring. I could not believe it. And then he went on to the very next pay-per-view and faced off against Scott Hall in a match for the Intercontinental Championship with Kevin Nash at ringside. And he went on and won that as well. I could not believe it. And he's only gone here and defeated one of my favourite wrestlers in the entire world, Tommy End. I cannot believe it again. It's just absolutely crazy. It really is. I'm stunned by the whole thing. As you can probably hear my voice, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. R-Truth's pulled off the victory. Does that mean that he should be involved in the European Championship match at Battleground? Should that be a triple threat? It's just difficult to say, isn't it, really? It really is difficult to say. Well, let's just keep going on and see what happens over the next few weeks. Because you never quite know, do you? Maybe R-Truth deserves to be in that European Championship match. And here is the rivalry result there. Tommy End's match went awry due to a distraction from rival Cesaro. I suppose we can blame Cesaro, I suppose, if we try. It's been pretty... I don't know, the Tommy End lost that match after Cesaro even left, but you never know. Now, Tommy End has gained himself a double downer from that match, and that's not good. He's on a cold streak and some sort of confusion as well. Disorientation, I don't know. I don't know what that is. You'll have to let me know in the comment section below what that means and what its effect is, but he's got it, whatever it was, and R-Truth is now on a hot streak, so that's going to be pretty damn good there for Cesaro, because now Tommy End is looking in a right state here, and this could be a walk in the park for Cesaro Battleground. And here is our main event of the evening. It is going to be The Rock taking on Owen Hart. And here we go then. We do have The Rock, the current Raw champion, who will be defending that belt at 3 weeks' time at Battleground, of course, against Owen Hart. Goldberg. He's playing Owen Hart this evening. Owen Hart, a former European champion on this universe mode. Was a really good European champion, actually. I was surprised he lost it. To start things off, he was really, really strong. He won the European Championship, I believe, in a... Oh, this is taking me back memory-wise now. In a fatal four-way ladder match on the opening night of the Universe mode. And he's gone on to do pretty well since then as well. But he had that European Championship. He just looked so strong. It didn't look like he would ever really lose the belt. He just looked absolutely dominant. And then eventually he did, of course. I think he lost it to... Did he lose it to... Macho Man Randy Savage, I believe it was. I think it was Randy Savage, yeah. And then Savage went on to lose it against Cesaro. Again, another situation where I really thought that Savage was absolutely dominant. He wasn't going to lose the belt. And then Cesaro comes along and takes the belt away from him. So it's been really up and down the European Championship. It really has been a poison chalice. So maybe when I was saying... Sorry, my chair's squeaking a lot. Maybe when I was saying in the last match about Tommy End being in a really bad position and Cesaro looking dominant, maybe I was wrong. Because based on the previous pay-per-views, when that's been the case, the weaker looking person always seems to win. So it'll be interesting to see what Owen Hart can do here this evening. He knows a win here would give him a very slight chance of really being able to pull off a very victorious ending to this universe mode for him, because if he can weasel his way into that main event at Battleground, you never know what could happen, do you? Never know. But that is it at Battleground in a few weeks' time. Let's see what's going to happen here this evening, though. Will it be The Rock? Will it be Owen Hart? We already know that The Rock is definitely going to be defending the SmackDown Championship at the pay-per-view against Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then he's scheduled, of course, to face off against Goldberg to defend the Raw Championship as well. So we're going to get double Rock main event at Battleground. I didn't realise that until it was only last week when I was looking at the card that I'd started to put together. I realised that well, he's not double booked because there's different versions of The Rock. We've got the 2003 version of The Rock here on Raw, and then you have got the current day version of The Rock over on SmackDown. Be interesting to see if they bring back the current day version of The Rock at some point. Anyway, just to help bolster up this new set of rosters they've got with the Raw and SmackDown. You'd think that potentially they could have brought someone like him back for SummerSlam, but I suppose they do have Orton versus Lesnar, which is going to be their that's going to be their big match, the big talking match, I suppose. But I think at the moment most people are talking about Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. For me, that is a match that everybody wants to see. I've not heard or read a single person yet badmouth that match at all. I've heard quite a few people moaning about Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler, which I don't get because I like Ziggler. But I can understand there probably are some other matches that people would have preferred to have seen beforehand, but still, I'm quite happy to see Ziggler take on Ambrose. I think either way we know that Ambrose is going to hold on to the championship at SummerSlam. And it's going to be it's good now, because if you think SmackDown wise, you've got Ambrose, you've got Orton, you've got Cena, you've got AJ Styles, you've got Baron Corbin, you've got Bray Wyatt. There's a lot of people there that could potentially go for that championship, and because there are less people on the roster fighting out for main events, then it means that some of the people that never really would have got an opportunity, like a Dolph Ziggler, is now going to get that chance to show what he can do in the main event once again. That's my hope anyway. I'm hoping the same thing will happen on Raw with guys like Cesaro as well. Guys like Cesaro and Kevin Owens. That's what I think that it's sort of lacked a little bit, is the main event stars seem to have split quite nicely between Raw and SmackDown. However, it seems to be those sort of guys that everybody wants to see do better. They've all ended up over on Raw. Like, we want to see Sami Zayn, we want to see Kevin Owens, we want to see Cesaro all involved in the championship picture. Yet they've all ended up on Raw. And don't get me wrong, they were all involved in the Fatal 4-Way matches to determine the number one contender. But still, you just want to see if one or two of those guys were on SmackDown. Like Cesaro, I think Cesaro was a shoo-in for SmackDown for me. And I think Sami Zayn should have gone to SmackDown as well, unless they've got ideas of potentially using Sami Zayn as part of the Cruiserweight division. Which I think they could do. I know a lot of people out there are probably thinking Sami Zayn as a Cruiserweight, you're going to take away some of his... you're going to drop him down the card a little bit, but I think if you can establish the Cruiserweight division as a high-level championship, which you could very well do if you had guys like Kota Ibushi, you had guys like Sami Zayn, you had guys like Finn Balor, you could do that. Really just elevate the championship up to the level you want it to be at, as The Rock locks in the sharpshooter dead centre of the ring. Owen Hart crawling towards the ropes. And The Rock does break the hold. There's a lot of pressure on The Rock's legs there, as well as Owen Hart to hold that submission hold. It's a tricky sentence. The Rock now with a pin on Owen Hart. It's only enough for the 2 count though. It's going to take a bit more than that for The Rock to knock off Owen Hart here this evening. Rock another big clothesline. And now what's he going for here? He's gone out to the outside. Is he looking to... I don't know what he was doing there. A bit of poor coding there by 2K once again as he just wandered into the announce table there for a few seconds. And Owen Hart catches him right in the face there with a drop kick. clubbing blow across the back of the Rock. And there's an angle slam there by Owen Hart. Another man rumoured to be coming back to WWE soon, of course, is Kurt Angle. And it wouldn't surprise me if he does make his return around about the Royal Rumble time. And we do get a nice little run for Angle leading up into WrestleMania. I'd love to see some sort of Angle, American Alpha and Shelton Benjamin sort of storyline. There's Owen Hart with the power driver, and this could be a win. No, it's not. Rock emphatically kicks out there after the 2 count. Rock now taking Owen Hart against them ropes. What's he got planned? Sending Owen Hart to the outside. Don't go for the power. Don't go for the DDT, please. The Rock's going to go for the DDT on the apron, and he hits the spike DDT. I'm pretty sure that's an OMG moment, so that means the Rock has just used up his rock bottom, or I'm not 100% sure on that. You might have to confirm, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is. You have to use up one of your finishing maneuvers to hit that move. But because you finish on the outside, you're almost wasting it because you're not going to get the pin from it. That's the problem. As Rock now does with a fist to the face of Owen Hart, and Hart crashing to the ground there. Really taking a few big hits there. Looking a little bit woozy as the Rock continues the attack with a kick to the inside of the leg. And I would like to see Owen Hart on a WWE game at some point. It wouldn't surprise me if it comes pretty soon, because I think one of the main problems was the relationship between WWE and Owen Hart's wife. But now they seem to have been eased a little bit with Owen Hart's DVD being released at some point soon. So I wonder whether that would open him up to being on the game as well, because I know a lot of fans, including myself, would love to see him on the game. And plus it would save me a creative wrestler. That's the best thing about all these new people being added to the roster next year, is it's going to save us a lot of creative wrestlers to do what we want to do. The Rock again with a shooting star press. Bloody hell. The sharpshooter, got it, you can tell it's getting late, can't you? The sharpshooter and then a jawbreaker by Owen Hart. Sending the Rock into the corner. It's been a pretty good match, this one. Both guys really taking it to each other. I think the Rock has sort of had the best of it at the moment, but Owen Hart really showing his ability as well. And Owen Hart lining the Rock up here. This is the one move of Roman Reigns that I actually like. I actually really like that from Roman Reigns. It's about the one move that I do appreciate from his moveset. And Rock looks down and out. In for the pin goes Owen Hart. 1, 2. Oh, it's only a 2 count. The Rock almost defeated there by the former European champion Owen Hart. Whoa. I apologise for that. I don't know where that came from. Owen Hart now really taking it to the Raw champion, The Rock. And like I said, if he continues on like this, you'd have to fancy him to get involved in that main event at Battleground, because he's really just dominating The Rock at the moment. And maybe we could do some sort of multi-man match for our main event at Battleground. Rock making his way back up to his feet now, and a big right hand to the gut. Rock now sending Owen Hart into the corner. Up onto the top turnbuckle as well. What's the Rock going for? It looks to be going for a superplex, and he does. He hits it. Owen Hart crashing down, and Rock once again going to go for that sharpshooter. He's determined to try and get that submission victory here. And after the third sharpshooter, he must be getting close to getting that submission victory. We know what submissions are like on this game, though, don't we? They never seem to quite work as you hope they would do. And it's still not enough to keep Owen Hart down, and The Rock is really going all out here to try and defeat Owen Hart, and really he's just struggling to finish Owen Hart off as Owen Hart turns him over, drops him into the tombstone pile driver, and the second tombstone in the match. Owen Hart in for the pin. This could be all. 1, 2. Oh, and again The Rock kicks out. What does Owen Hart have to do to finish him off? And again, what does The Rock have to do to finish Owen Hart off? Rock now sending Owen Hart into the corner. And now really sending him into the corner. Shoulder first into the ring post. And just raking his foot across the face of Owen Hart. I think he's just getting a bit annoyed now more than anything. Rock now just stamping on the back of the knee of Owen Hart. There's the snapmare. And now locking in that headlock as well. Just giving him a chance to take a second just to regain a little bit of energy there for The Rock. Plus also giving him an opportunity to really think about what he wants to do next. How he wants to really move on from here. Releases Owen Hart now. Both guys back up to the feet. Owen Hart dropping to the outside. Looking to try and create a little bit of space. But Rock follows him straight out there and catches him with that hip toss on the outside. Brings him back up to his feet. Now straight into the apron. Now I think The Rock is actually trying to throw Owen Hart back into the ring here. This is another one of the little problem glitches that 2K16 has. And that is throwing people into the apron rather than throwing them into the ring because they can't line it up correctly. And you end up in this perpetual loop of this. I think that'll be the last one now because the referees count, which is... I'm so glad there is a way out of that one because that could literally that could go on forever, especially in like a full set anyway match or a match with no countouts. Owen Hart makes his way back into the ring. Both guys back in there now. Rock with that forearm. And a big spine buster. And could this finally be the end of Owen Hart? Rock pulls him into the middle of the ring. I thought he was going to go for the people's elbow, but Owen Hart caught me that kick in the head. Send The Rock into the corner. I was convinced The Rock had that match won there for a second. So both these guys have taken so much out of each other. This is almost like it is a Raw Championship match. And for people out there that have mentioned about the fact that I do put matches on Fast Momentum, I will mention that this is on Fast Momentum as well. And I don't think the momentum really makes a hell of a difference on these games at all, to tell the honest truth. I try and utilise them sometimes. I'll put some on fast, I'll put some on slow, some on medium, depending on what type of match it is. But as a third Tombstone Power Driver, this has got to be all. This has to be all. Owen Hart taking so long to go into the pin. He finally does 1, 2, and 3. And he has done it. Owen Hart has defeated the Raw Champion, The Rock. Now, that was an incredibly impressive match. Do we give Owen Hart a chance? Do we give Owen Hart the opportunity at Battleground to go for the championship? We already know that Goldberg is already in that match. The Rock, of course, the Raw Champion, is going to be in that match. Now Owen Hart has just defeated the Raw Champion in what was an epic match. It took 3 Tombstone Power Drivers to keep The Rock down. I think we could do that, you know. I like the idea of Owen Hart being involved in the championship match. Owen Hart, of course, never given an opportunity to have a run with the WWE Championship in real life due to his obviously leaving us prematurely as he did. So it'd be great for us to give him the opportunity here in our universe mode. Now you know what? I'm going to do it. We are going to do it. Owen Hart has now been added to the Battleground main event. That is now going to be a triple threat. Owen Hart, The Rock, and Goldberg triple threat for the Raw Championship. And I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a really good match. Really good match. Just to give it a little bit of an exciting finish. And there we go. That was the final tombstone that finished the match off. So a great win here for Owen Hart. He was having a bit of a go at the referee, allowing Owen Hart to celebrate here in style. He doesn't know as yet, but he'll find out as soon as he goes backstage that he's now been added to the Raw main event for Battleground. And what a cracking main event that is going to be. So unfortunately for The Rock, it was a loss. And whoa, hang on a minute. Here comes Daniel Bryan. He's cashed in his briefcase. He's been backstage. He's watched the match here between The Rock and Owen Hart, and he's decided that now is the right time to cash in the briefcase against The Rock. And he might just be right. The Rock has taken a hell of a beating here this evening. And let's see if Daniel Bryan can make it one step worse by taking the championship away from The Rock. But The Rock's starting off quite strong straight away. I was expecting Daniel Bryan just to come down and hit a couple of finishes on him, finish him off. But then again, The Rock really schooling Daniel Bryan here. Of course, Daniel Bryan won the Money in the Bank briefcase a few weeks back. And Rock really just schooling Daniel. I think Daniel Bryan might have been in the wrong here to come out and challenge The Rock at this point in time. Rock was really just taking a hell of a match by Owen Hart, but it seems to have spurred him on more than anything else. Now The Rock with the ring steps. What is he doing here? He's going to get himself disqualified there, which probably would have been a clever move by The Rock, really, in this situation, because he still walks away with the championship. As Rock continues the assault, and I can't believe how much Rock is dominating Daniel Bryan here. Rock now rolling Daniel Bryan over. It's almost like Rock hasn't even had a match at this point in time. Rock again, bringing Daniel Bryan back to a seated position. Rock struggling though still. Daniel Bryan back up to his feet. There's a big right hand. There's Daniel Bryan with the kicks to the chest of The Rock. And a big one to the side of the head. And that could be enough to finish The Rock off. He's already gone through a really difficult match against Owen Hart. Now here he is. Daniel Bryan with the pin. 1, 2. Oh, almost a new champion. Almost a new champion. Rock back up to his feet now. Big right hand to Daniel Bryan. Sends him over the top rope, crashing to the ground below. As the referee starts counting, The Rock still looking very aggressive. Rock now on the shoulders, Samoan drop on the outside. Rock back in the ring now. Is he hoping to win this one by count out maybe? He'll do anything to try and get the win at this point after the matches he's done. Daniel Bryan back into the ring though on the 7 count. Rock with a belly to belly slam. Daniel Bryan dragging The Rock into the middle of the ring. It's almost like suplex, just twisting the neck and throwing him though. Daniel Bryan now rolling The Rock up in to the bell lock, the yes lock, the no lock, whatever you want to call it. Is The Rock going to tap out? That's the one disadvantage that Daniel Bryan has got. Of course, he does have a submission finisher, which we know in this game are not fantastic. Rock now dropping into the pin. 2. I need a 2 count. Rock stalking Daniel Bryan as he gets backed up to his feet. I can't believe we've got ourselves a Raw Championship match. Just a complete surprise here at the end of the show. We saw a great match between The Rock and Owen Hart, and then this was just an added bonus as Daniel Bryan, with that big sort of Saito suplex angle, slamming up to the top rope. He likes to utilise the diving headbutt, but he's gone for the elbow instead. Oh, and it's just almost enough to pick up the 3 count, but it's not quite. Rock now bringing Daniel Bryan bringing The Rock. I'm getting excited now. Back up to his feet and hitting that. More like Scorpion Deathlock, I suppose. Up to the top he goes once again, but The Rock's back up to his feet as well. Daniel Bryan went for the diving drop kick, but The Rock managed to run underneath and avoid it. Rock now with a kick to the back of Daniel Bryan. Rock now into that headlock. Putting Daniel Bryan against that rope. It looks like The Rock going to try and throw him over the top once again. I went for that clothesline. Daniel Bryan ducked underneath it. Catches The Rock in the middle of the ring in that front chancery. Snap suplex by Daniel Bryan. And now Daniel Bryan lining The Rock up. Is he going to be able to hit this? Went for the running knee strike and The Rock slapped him out of the way. And caught him with that punch to the face. Daniel Bryan, he could end up wasting his opportunity here, you know. Big knee to the face there by The Rock, sending Daniel Bryan over the top rope. Daniel Bryan does not want to be the guy that cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase and failed. He really does not want to be that guy. But at the moment, The Rock is making it very, very difficult for him to win that championship. Daniel Bryan now with the airplane spin on The Rock. Drops him down. Bring The Rock back up to his feet. Of course, Daniel Bryan could not... Well, he could win the match by count out, but he would not walk away with the championship if it was to happen. So Daniel Bryan should probably continue the assault on The Rock, but instead he's allowing The Rock to take a few extra seconds on the outside. Daniel Bryan now catching The Rock, takes him up into a scoop slam. Rock reverses it into a reverse DDT. In for the pin. It's only enough for a 2 count. I don't know how he thought he was going to get the 3 count with that reverse DDT, but maybe just a chance to get a little bit of a rest himself by dropping into that pin. Daniel Bryan with that little hip toss. Can Daniel Bryan pull this off? He should do, because The Rock has been in a very difficult match already with Owen Hart. Surely The Rock is really struggling here. As Daniel Bryan with his kicking combination once again, all them kicks to the chest, just sucks all the energy out of you. Almost just sucking the... or just pushing the oxygen out of his lungs. And now Daniel Bryan again locking in the label lock. Again, it's a submission finish though. Is it going to be enough to finish this match off? It's not. It's not enough to finish off The Rock. Submission finishes just do not work in this game. And I'm sort of annoyed now that Daniel Bryan won the Money in the Bank, because it looks like he could end up losing this match. Rock now bringing Bryan back up to his feet, but Bryan catches him with that uppercut. Dragging The Rock into the middle of the ring. Hooks him. Butterfly suplex by Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan again bringing The Rock back up to his feet. Sends him into the corner turnbuckle. Flipping over the top of The Rock. Springs off. Ducks the clothesline. Running forearm. Taking The Rock down. Daniel Bryan again bringing The Rock to his feet. I'm surprised he didn't go for the pin from that. And now here we go again with this kicking combination. And this could be enough. Daniel Bryan finished off with a big kick to the side of the head. He's just going to pin The Rock and he can have the championship here. 1, 2, and 3. And there we go. Wow, a change of the Raw Championship here on Monday Night Raw. Not a pay-per-view. And it looked like it wasn't going to happen for me for a certain period of time. You must have heard that in my voice. I was getting a little bit worried that The Rock was going to pull this one off. But The Rock, my word, how can you begrudge him that? He put on a fantastic match against Owen Hart. And then to go on and put another match of that length and that quality against Daniel Bryan for the Raw Championship is absolutely incredible. So The Rock may have lost his belt here, but he's gained a lot of respect with me. And what does this mean for the main event of Battleground as well? What does this mean for the main event of Battleground? That is an interesting one. That could really throw a spanner in the works. We just announced only 10-15 minutes ago that we're going to have a triple threat between The Rock, Goldberg and Owen Hart. Do we stick with the triple threat and just take The Rock out? Do we give The Rock his rematch and make it a fatal 4-way? I think we do, you know. I think we do. Oh, God. I think we give The Rock his rematch and make it a fatal 4-way. Fatal 4-ways work a lot better on this game anyway. Daniel Bryan's the champion, you can't take him out. Goldberg was the original #1 contender, you can't take him out. Owen Hart has just defeated The Rock and had a fantastic match, you can't take him out. And now Daniel Bryan has just won the Raw Championship on Raw by cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase. What a time. And it was a difficult match against The Rock as well, but he managed to pull it off. Fatal 4-way at Battleground, surely. Daniel Bryan defending against The Rock, Owen Hart and Goldberg. Wow. What an eventful episode of Raw. Probably the best episode of Raw we've ever had. And we've still got a few left before we hit up our last pay-per-view, of course, which is going to be Battleground in 3 weeks' time. If you have enjoyed this episode and you have enjoyed what has happened in this episode, then please do hit the like button. It does really help me out. Makes a video easier for people to find. I've got to stop drinking. Yeah, and of course, if you have enjoyed it, then please do hit that subscribe button as well if you are new around here for a lot more of the WWE 2K16 Universe Mode. We'll be finishing this Universe Mode off in the next couple of weeks, and obviously starting a brand new one, as we said earlier in the video, involving the newer rosters for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So I'm looking forward to that. And that should be going live in the next few weeks. I do apologise for the video being a little bit late, but I will catch up. I'm having some computer problems, so I'll catch up definitely in over the next couple of weeks. Everything should be on time, if not a little bit early. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon for our next episode of Thunder.